So I wanted to share something that's on my heart. It's going to be kind of a two-part video, if you will. The first part is going to address here. The next part will address here. I'll just go ahead and jump into it. Once we are saved, once we make that decision to walk with Christ, we are called to be set apart. Sometimes that's not an easy road. Sometimes we do well, sometimes we fail, but we are called to be set apart nonetheless. In Romans 12, verse 2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So that tells me, it's a process. It tells me we need to test everything. We need to figure out what's good, what's bad, what do I need to follow, what do I need to back up and, let go in my life. The next one I wanted to look at was 2 Timothy 2:21. 2 Timothy 2:21 says, therefore, if anyone cleanses himself from what is dishonorable, he will be a vessel for honorable use, set apart as holy, useful to the master of the house, ready for every good work. So I looked at cleanses himself from what is dishonorable to God. So at that point, once we make that decision, we need to start separating ourselves from everything this is dishonorable to him. That way we can be set apart as holy and used for his good work. I feel like that is not talked about enough with young Christians, and definitely not guiding them in the direction in which they need to go. We live in a very tough, brutal world. That being said, there are things all around us, everywhere we go, that's going to try to bring us down and try to make us fail. Psalms 119:9. How can a young man keep his way pure? And the answer is right here. By guarding it according to your word. So if we guard our hearts and our souls according to the word of Christ, we will stay pure. We will figure out what's good and what's wrong, just like the scriptures talked about before. What's honorable and what's dishonorable. We will figure out what we need to cling to and what we need to dismiss. Everybody always talks about the big stuff. It's pretty evident if you listen what the big stuff is, and that's the alcoholism, pornography, addictions, all that stuff. Everybody knows that these things are a no-no, and it seems like they're talked about a lot in the churches. But something they don't talk about is the small stuff. Music, movies, friends, all of these things. Part of separating yourself from what's dishonorable is going through those things, and it's music. Now granted, there is very little secular music that would be okay to listen to. It doesn't make sense that if I'm if I'm living for Christ, why would I be rolling down the street listening to Nickelback or blasting Jay-Z or whatever type of music it may be? Why, if I'm trying to glorify God, would I be listening to the music like that? Music that is just filled with nothing but the world. It makes no sense. We need to surround ourselves, just talking about our friends, we need to surround ourselves with people who are going to desire to walk the walk with us. Christian people who are going to uplift you, they're going to guide you, they're going to take care of you, and they're going to help correct you when you're wrong. A lot of times it's a lot easier to be brought down by what's around you. So we need to be careful of what we're surrounding ourselves with. And I didn't put it in my notes, but I know the Bible talks about what we take in, what we see, what we hear. That's going to reflect once it hits our heart. So if we're sitting around and we're watching these movies that are full full of some demonic stuff, the world, you know, nudity, whatever it may be, our minds get corrupted, then our hearts are going to reflect it. You know, same thing with the music. We're listening to this music that promotes sex and drugs and alcohol and, you know, whatever it may be, then our hearts are going to feel it. You know, so we really need to fill our minds with wholesome, you know, dismiss ourselves from whatever is dishonorable. Second Corinthians 6:14 through 18. I won't read the whole thing. Do not be unequally yoked. I'm going to read the whole thing. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? What accord has Christ with Belial? Or what portion does a believer share with an unbeliever? What agreement has the temple of God with idols? For we are the temple of the living God. So that basically tells me that we can't mix light with the dark. You know, when we start doing that, there's a whole lot of gray areas that need to be addressed. There's a whole lot of, you know, you just need to just fix it. You know, if it's not of God, if it's not glorifying God, then we need to separate ourselves from it. We need to protect our hearts, protect our souls, protect our eyes, our mouths, our ears, protect our whole being so that we can glorify God. And at the moment, that seems like it's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of things that this whole legalistic, you know, everybody wants to do this, do that. And granted, the good book is full of commandments, but you know, what do we do if we fail? Because we will fail. We're only human. I feel like that's where God's grace falls into play. We fail. He's going to forgive us. He's going to lift us back up. He's going to put us back on the right track. But we need to come at it with a repentant heart. Whenever we do wrong, whenever we fail, we need to repent, pray, and turn from it and go the right direction. And I feel the importance. I feel at that point it's very important to surround yourself with good Christian people, the brethren, so to speak. If we surround ourselves with the brethren, then I feel like it's going to be a lot easier to move on in your walk, especially as a young Christian. It's going to be very easily persuaded. You're going to be tested, tasked to do things. And I just feel like as a young Christian, surround yourself with good, wholesome Christian people that are going to help you along your walk. We're here to guide you, to move you in the direction that you need to be, answer the questions that you need to have answered. I feel like if we surround ourselves with good Christian people, then it's going to help along the walk. It's going to help the walk along the way to be surrounded by encouragement and hope. The one thing that I feel like we can't do as young Christians, and we shouldn't promote it, we should stand firm in this, is to not mistake grace, this freedom that God has given us, as an opportunity to please the flesh. You know, a lot of people think that, oh, if I sin, God's going to forgive me, and He will. But if you know in your mind that you're getting ready to go sin, at that point, you need to be repenting from it. You need to be running from it. Flee from sin, the Bible tells us. So don't mistake the grace and the freedom as the opportunity to please your flesh. Galatians 5:13, Paul tells us this, and I'll get more into that here in a second in the next video. So that's where I'm at. That's how I feel. Young Christians need to grasp certain things that aren't being said. And there are certain things that are being said that need to be dismissed. The main thing that we need to concentrate on teaching young Christians is to separate themselves from anything that's dishonorable to God, surrounding themselves with things that are honorable to God, and repenting when they fail, instead of continuing down the path that the world wants them to. So I'm hoping that this reaches somebody. If you know somebody this might reach, link it to them, let them know. We as Christians are here for you. We don't want to throw judgment on you. We just want to guide you in the right directions that you need to go. Stay tuned for part 2 of this. I will be getting it up shortly. Until next time, God bless you all.